Recruiter here to review your resumes. The resume we have up first is a data scientist, and I do more than tech resumes, but right now the tech market is and in the toilet. So like 90% of the resumes sent to me are full stack engineers and data scientists and data analysts. But I do more like accountants and sales and go to market people. So this person's resume is utter garbage. And I know this because they said they have applied consistently for 8 months. They have applied to over 1,200 jobs, and they've only gotten 2 interviews, which is a horrifyingly bad ratio. And the ratio is how you can determine how good or bad your resume is. A ratio is just how many applications it takes you to get an interview. And when people use my method, they get a 1 interview per 7 application ratio. That is the average that people get when using my method. But this person, that takes them over 600 applications to get an interview, so this is a garbage resume. And I can, out of the corner of my eye, already see why. So what do we need for a data scientist? We need degree, Python or R, SQL, the industry. I need you to explain stuff to non-technical folk. That is critical. Part of your job as a data scientist is not being somebody who knows the data. It's knows the data enough to explain it to Bob, the stakeholder who owns the project, and cannot turn on their computer without calling tech support every morning. And there's also influencing stakeholders. As an example of this, if you want to know what a bad data science did, although this really isn't their fault, there's no way they could have done it, is Elon Musk turning Twitter to X is a terrible decision. A data scientist would explain, and would have to influence them to be like, hey, this is why this is a bad idea. Although that's really more of a marketing job, but that you kind of get the point of what you need to do for that. Then cross-functional MLOps, MS Office applications, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Google Sheets, dashboard data visualization, and then extra credit is using AI and working with it, data in all its forms, so modeling, data analytics, etc. So I need to find 75% of those in 20 seconds. If I cannot, your resume is garbage. And I'm not looking for them in keyword form. I'm looking for them in qualification form, which I will explain in a minute. So will I be able to find these in 20 seconds? No, absolutely not. This person takes them 600 applications to get an interview. Definitely not. But let's see what I cannot find in 20 seconds. And go. Oh, this formatting is so bad. All right, this doesn't matter. This doesn't matter. Designed a multi-source time series heterogeneous. Well, I don't care. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Oh my gosh, none of this matters. End-to-end AI agent using lane chain. All right, in Mistral trial. Automating regulatory credit memo. Why does that matter? It doesn't. Architected parallel OCR. What? No. Time. So that is why this resume is garbage. It has nothing I need, and the bullet points are awful, and the formatting is awful. Oh my gosh, this formatting is atrocious. Not the worst I've ever seen, but it's really, really bad. So here's how you fix it. First things first, for the love of all that is holy, use my formatting. This is how you do it. This is what it should look like. Link is in the description below of how you do it. Really, really need to do that. I'll try not to talk too much about formatting because everything on this is off. But this doesn't matter. This doesn't matter. This doesn't matter. Your name should be there, but they have it. So then we go down to here, and the courses don't matter. Unless you are in a PhD level program, your courses do not matter. Also, I'm very confused why you have 2 bachelors of sciences in computer science. Why? What? Was this a typo? Was this supposed to be a master's? Because if you've already graduated in 2024, then I don't care. Oh, it's statistics? No, but you already have a science and statistics and computer. If this is a master's, you keep it. If this is a master's, you keep it, and this is a typo. If not, then why do I care that you've got a double bachelor's in the same thing? You've already got it down there. Also, stop with this weird lines. Why does everybody put these lines? Makes it so much harder to read. So again, oh man, already this is looking better. And then here, this should be like this. All right, and this should be 1 line. This should be 1 line. That's all you get. You could fit it all there. No one cares. Honestly, top 5 school, most people don't care. Most people are not going to recognize what the school is. Now, into the actual bullet points. These are terrible. This tells me nothing I need. It is filled to the brim with hot dogs and does not have any qualifications. So, what a hot dog is in hiring is, I want you to go to, let's say you're hungry, you go to a restaurant, you're like, I would like a hamburger. They say, okay, here is your hamburger. And instead of handing you a hamburger, they hand you a hot dog with cheese on it. And you're like, what? This is a hot dog. This is not a hamburger. And they say, well, a hot dog has meat like a hamburger, and a hot dog has buns like a hamburger, and a hot dog can't have ketchup, mustard, pickles, tomatoes, relish, and cheese, just like a hamburger. So when you wanted a hamburger, what you really wanted was this hot dog. You would look at them like they were crazy, and you would walk away. And that is the exact same problem with this. Designed a multi-source time series pipeline. Is that impressive? Who cares? You're not going to impress me. You know what I know it's not? Has nothing to do with what I want up here. And again, you may be thinking, well, Lee, a multi-source time series pipeline means you can go back in time and create a data science project in 32 days. But it doesn't matter, because it doesn't matter what you've done if it's not related to this stuff. And if in your resume it is not explicitly shown, it is explicitly informed that it does not exist. Nothing exists in your resume unless it is shown. So if this implies they are a great data scientist, it implies nothing. You cannot ever imply something in your resume. You have to state it. And you know what I don't see? I don't see anything I'm looking for, because this is filled with hot dogs. Again, is building an alternative data newscasting model, identifying a blah, 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 good? Yeah, maybe. That might be impressive, but I don't care if you cured world hunger. I care that you used Python data visualization dashboards and convinced a stakeholder. That's all I care about. That's what the hiring manager cares about. By the way, recruiters don't make these. I want everybody to be clear. Recruiters do not make these. Hiring managers do. And the difference is in right here, right? So you're like, well, hold on, Lee. What about this sentence? Engineered an AI agent, blah, 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 blah. Why is this a bad sentence? You told me about AI. Well, first things first, you need a minimum of 3 keywords per job bullet point. So each bullet point needs to have 3 keywords minimum. Now, what's a keyword? A keyword is this. It's what the hiring team wants. It is a hamburger. But we are not keyword hunting. We are qualification hunting, which is why this sentence failed and their skills section at the bottom of the resume does not count. And a qualification is a keyword plus how you use that keyword, plus the non-technical reason you used that keyword, the business reason, plus where you've used it. And if it's not what, how, why, where, it does not count. So this one has the what, although in this case it's only 1 and I want a minimum of 3. Let's use a different one over there. 1. But engineered and ended an AI agent. Okay. LangChain Mistral. That's fun. Mistrial, whatever. Automating regulatory credit memo, qua QC. What's qua QC? I don't know. Why is it relevant? I don't know. You didn't tell me. What was the purpose of using it for a regulatory credit memo? I don't know. You didn't tell me. What was the point of this? I don't know. You didn't tell me. And thus, this does not count. Architected parallel Ochre DocX pipeline, achieving 30 times legacy reduction over sequential baseline latency. Again, hot dog. Doesn't matter. Your resume should have no numbers with the exception of your dates of employment and your phone number. Unless you are a sales or a manager, or there is one other exception, which is you're a software engineer who is describing the number of users on the architecture that you specifically built. Otherwise, you do not want a number in your resume. It just makes it harder to read and is irrelevant. It's just a hot dog. Developed NLP? No. So what do I have in this resume? You know what I see? That you used AI. That's it. You know what I don't see? I don't see that you've used Python. I don't see that you've SQL. I don't see the industry. I don't see how you can explain stuff to non-technical people. I don't see how you can influence stakeholders. I don't see how you can work cross-functionally. I don't see how you can use ML ops. I don't see that you can use MS applications such as Word, Excel, PowerPoint. Those are in the job descriptions. You can fight me on it, but I'm right. You need those. Or Google Sheets. I don't see how you can use dashboards or data visualizations. And all I see is AI. You want to know why you've gotten 2 interviews out of 600 people? That's why. It's because this resume has nothing on it. The formatting is bad, the bullet points are terrible, and you don't tell me what I actually need. So I'm going to need you to go back to the drawing board and remake this resume, because right now there's almost nothing salvageable here. I don't see anything salvageable. It doesn't matter that you went to a top 5 school. It doesn't matter that you've flooped the flop. It doesn't matter that you did 80% latency. All that matters is that in hiring, you give the hiring manager hot hamburgers and not hot dogs. And if you give them hot dogs like this resume, you will get rejected, because hamburgers are the only way to get hired. So that is it for this resume. Before we go to the next one, I just want to thank everybody at home for watching. I am a small creator, and your support with memberships, which you can join in the link below, gets you access to videos early. And let's face it, it really helps me keep going. This channel would not be able to do it without you all. So your support keeps me going so I can keep helping other people. So I appreciate that. Again, if anybody wants to join and be a member, they can join in the link below. And if you ever need more help, members and non-members, you can join my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST on twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter and right here on YouTube. But let's go to the next resume. This is a DevOps engineer intern resume. Kinda. So I was looking to find the keywords for this. And again, the keywords are the most important part of it. You still have to write them, the how, the why, and the where. But I actually could not find any DevOps interns. So what I did is I took the DevOps engineer keywords and put them with the common qualifications for an intern, which is this stuff. But you don't need all of this. Normally, you need 75% of these to move forward. In this case, you probably only need like 3 of those lines max. You know, I'd say you need like 6 or 7 things from the list above, with the exception of the ability to work well with other, and that you can take direction and criticism. Taking direction and criticism and ability to work well with others is one of the most important things to put as an intern resume. So, this person has stated, I've been applying to DevOps interns and fresher roles. This person is not graduating for 2 years. You cannot apply to fresher roles like that. At least in the US. Again, they are in India, and I've gotten people jobs in India, but I don't think they're going to move you forward for a fresher role when you are not fresh. You have not graduated. You are still unripe. That sounds really weird, and I'm never going to use that again. I did not like how that sounded. And adjacent roles, there are very few job openings for these roles in India. Yeah, not a lot. I don't know how many jobs I've applied to, but it's more than 150, and they were using multiple different resumes, so I'm putting the ratio as unknown. To date, I've only gotten 3 interviews, 2 of which were for referrals and 1 was through LinkedIn. So let's judge this, and we are only judging this as if this is an intern. This might be the best fresher resume ever, but it's not going to matter because you're not graduated. But we're not judging it on it. We have to judge it based on one thing, and that is internship. So let's see if I can find that in 20 seconds. 20 seconds on the clock, and go. Where's your degree? Okay, all the way at the bottom. All right, summary doesn't matter. Engineer to production grade for Kubernetes. What does that mean? Why does it matter? Engineered a fast API. Don't care, don't care, don't care. Reduce coding. Why do I care about that? What does that mean? It doesn't mean anything in time. There you go. You know what I don't see? I don't see anything from the above list besides Kubernetes, which again was good that you had. But remember, I am not keyword hunting. The keywords are important, but you need to tell me the non-technical reason and why you did what you did. And remember, each bullet point needs to have a minimum of 3, a maximum of 6. This only has 1. What do you mean you engineered a production grade user-facing EKS-based coding working platform with 0 downtime rollouts via Kubernetes update serving public users at scale? What did it do? What is a coding workspace? Why was that? What was that? I don't know. You didn't tell me. You also only mentioned Kubernetes. You did not tell me why. This needs a better why. Okay, we're gonna do a shorthand for this because I am awful at drawing. So this is a why. There we go. Why did you do that? Right? Even though technically it starts with W, but whatever. Then implemented a fast API. I don't care about fast API. Microservice enabling bloody bloody blah with bloody bloody blah and backend teams. None of that is what I'm looking for. That entire sentence is a hot dog. Nothing in here matters. This is a hot dog. Reduced coding workspace. Hot dog, hot dog, hot dog. Across AWS I can actually use. But what do you mean additional savings through compute? What does that mean? I don't know. You didn't tell me. So in your first 3 bullet points, I have to go all the way down here to find 3 things I want. And that is it. And I'm actually scanning through the rest of this. This doesn't have it except for Terraform. So this has it. Why is it that your first 4 bullet points have 3 things I'm looking for, and none of them describe what you've done in a non-technical manner? You know what I don't see? I don't see DevOps. I don't see CI/CD. I don't see GitHub Actions or CI or coding languages. I don't see Python or Java or PowerShell or Bash or Linux or Unix or infrastructure as code or Helm or Ansible or Chief or the monitoring platforms or the ability to work well with others and take direction and criticism, which is critical. In fact, interns that only have this and direction and criticism. Oops, I deleted one more than I should have. There we go. They only have this and show the ability to work well with others and take direction and criticism, get interviews. That is what interns get. If you do not show you cannot take direction and criticism, and you do not show you can work with others, you are going to get rejected. Do you know why you're going to get rejected? Because a lot of interns come in with a pumped up sense of authority, and they get to the job, and then the boss says, hey, can you do X? And they punch the monitor and walk away. So you need to show that you can work well with others. You need to show direction and criticism, and you need to show this stuff, but none of this works. I understand why you're getting nothing. There's pretty much nothing in any of this. And again, your education should be up here. You know what's required to be an intern? That you are enrolled in college. You know what I don't know? If you're enrolled, because it's at the bottom and they could miss it. So this is why you're struggling, which is the market for these roles is tough. Let's face it, we're in a recession and there's just not a lot of DevOps roles, especially not a lot of DevOps intern roles available for you. But even if they were available, you would still get a terrible ratio because you do not show me any of this. Your resume is filled with hot dogs and not hamburgers, and I just cannot find what I need. And you do not tell me the reason you did what you did. So this is why you are struggling. Next resume. This is a resume of a project coordinator. So this person is in the UK, but my advice does work in the UK and the EU. I will say that there is a very teeny difference in some of the keywords. So instead of this being 100% accurate, it's probably closer to 90% accurate. So still good enough, but you may want to double check to make sure there's 1 or 2 region specific things. But, you know, I've gotten people jobs in Canada, the UK, the EU, Mexico, India, I believe Singapore, and obviously the US. And there's one more in Africa as well. So this is mostly global advice. So for a project coordinator, this person said they are desperate for a job as they need it for the wife's visa. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I'm still trying to be a PM, which is project manager. And for a project manager, a project coordinator is sort of like the stepping stone to a PM, but they need to be a junior. So what do we need? We need a degree or high school diploma. Project coordinator experience. So in this case, I need to see that you've done stuff that looks like project coordination. Multitask while meeting deadlines. Proactively problem solve. So I need you to anticipate a problem and solve it. Not just, a problem happened, but like, I gathered resources to prevent X and Y. Industry, what you're in. Again, industry matters. Communicate to all levels of the company. You need to talk from everybody from the janitor to the CEO, and that you can use MS Office products such as Word, Outlook, Excel. So I cannot scroll past this because this person doxed themselves emails by accident, so they have their email up by mistake. But let's do this. So this is the only thing I can see on this. So 20 seconds on the clock and go. This doesn't matter. Okay, that might be a UK specific thing. Balance customer service with multiple time sensitive tasks. Home daily prep. Why do I care about half of that? Monitor daily stock to patterns in loss. What? This does okay. So first off, remember what, how, why, where. This does not show where. You do not need a summary. This is worthless information. Here, the next part in education's inserts. This part, I'm going to be a little bit I'm going to let you know that this might be a difference in the US and the UK. So, I don't think the Prince 2 project manager cert matters. Now, you need to double check, but if you don't see a single job description mention it, I would remove it. Now, I will say what doesn't matter is you've already got A-levels here and you've graduated in biomed. Why I don't need the second one. It's high school diploma or degree. You don't need both. Like if you had a PMP cert, okay, again, like I'm really hesitant if the Prince 2 is. Maybe that's a UK specific thing, but I'm very hesitant to see if that would actually be something you need to check. Then we have here, which I've been to Iceland before. It is gorgeous. I loved my time there. I want to go back. It was so pretty. Oh, and the hot springs. So my problem with this is none of this is what I'm looking for besides multitasking. Like you're not coordinating anything. Like you're selling like I don't like nothing. This is entirely a hot dog right here. Now here, which is monitor daily stock reports to identify patterns in sales and stock loss, and then communicate corrective action, is something I would look for. But why do I care about rotation and control? Also, again, you only have one keyword, which is proactive solving. And again, I don't know what improving stock rotation is or why that matters. Like, you could just say, and using corrective actions to, like, I don't know why you did it. And then led the intake of a double delivery by prioritizing it based on knowledge of stock levels. There needs to be commas here. Each bullet point is a line. Coordinated by rebuilding for assigning them to coworkers. This is like one thing of coordination. And again, I don't know why you did this. Okay, so you led the intake of a double just say created a new structure of how our pallets were made and assigned it to other people in the company. Like, I need you to write this again. You gotta write it in a simple manner. I've reviewed these before and I've hired for these people before. I can barely understand this sentence. And again, it only has one keyword. You need a minimum of 3. Collaborate in the planning delivery of a store layout change by recommending a sequence approach. See, this one again is understandable, but you know what I don't see? I don't see that you can meet deadlines. I see that you can multitask but not meet deadlines. I kind of see that you can proactively problem solve. I can't see that you communicate to all levels of the industry. I don't see the company. And you know what I don't see is MS Office. So I need you to redo this because, like, this doesn't read like a project coordinator. This reads like a salesperson. Which, if you were, that's fine. But just put, like, one bullet point that said, oh man, what did you even do here? See, I don't even know what you did. It's that, let's say, created reports and, let's see, reports and a knowledge base for our associates and managers so they could save time, so they could reduce fatigue and save time when they did whatever it is they did. Like, just make one bullet point that has all that stuff that you need. Because right now it's 4 bullet points, 3 keywords, and nothing. And then down here, they're not going to get to it. Couldn't even say this. See, again, there's one. I need you to be like, you're just so vague. And you're like, it really reads like you're trying to pump up your experience. Like, there's nothing wrong with working at McDonald's and being a sales associate at McDonald's. I want to be clear. There's nothing wrong with that. But this reads like somebody who was at the cash register trying to say, I led the entire store. Like, you're alluding to it. You're hiding where it is. I need you to be upfront and say, I created documents and a knowledge base so that other associates could save time when they scheduled their blah blah. Because right now, I am struggling to read this. And that is not good. And I want you to get this. This does not read like a project coordinator. This doesn't read like anything. It just reads like somebody that is trying to hype up their experience. And you might not be. You might actually have it. It's just I can't tell based on how you wrote this. Next resume. This is a resume of a data analyst. This person says they get over 150 to 1 ratio, so it's a bad resume. I'm an international on a visa. I know that will be much harder. Yes. That moved to the UK about a year ago. I don't know how visas work in the UK. Just letting you know. I know how they work in the US. But the knowledge of their visas in the UK is beyond me. So I've been looking for a job in data analytics, but have not received any feedback in the last 7 months. I had some interviews before. Since the year started, it's been 0, so it's about 200 to 300. I've worked somewhere around analytics, and I didn't have a chance to get into data analyst specifically, but I want to actually start my career. Thank you for your help and your guides. Changed my format and content and would love to hear any feedback. Not sure if I would need the summary since I am visa pivoting degree. So in the US, I have to say this because I don't have the UK's. The only reason you would explain a visa is if it is not an H-1B without an OPT, without a I-140, or it is not an OPT. No amount of explaining will help an H-1B without an I-140 or an OPT. You don't want to put it. Authorized to work in the US, authorized to work in the UK. I don't know their visa structure. I don't know how they work. I cannot advise upon that. If it is unknown, if it is not common, then you would have to explain how they can work with your visa. But again, I'm gonna kind of go away from that topic because that is beyond my knowledge and I don't want to give bad advice. So I'd rather give no advice than bad advice. So what do we need for a data analyst? We need degree, industry, SQL, data visualization, Tableau, Power BI, Looker, influencing stakeholders, explaining technical concepts to non-technical stakeholders, how you solved a problem with data, not what the data is, MS Excel, macros, pivot tables, VLOOKUP, Python, R, multiple projects and deadlines, and nice to have is the rest of that stuff. So let's see if I can find it in 20 seconds. And go. This is too long. Don't really care. Okay, whatever. Manage a high volume operational history, deadline projects, 1 keyword, function of primary operational contact. Again, 1. I'll go a little bit longer. I'll get like 1 more bullet point because I got distracted with how badly formatted this was. And I tried to fix it, which was a bad idea. I should have just moved on. Coordinated live service issue, enhancing audit readiness. Why do I care? Applied MS Excel, pivot table, menu evaluation time. No numbers. All right, time. So I understand why this does not work. So again, I'm judging this as if this was in the US. That is the only thing I can do with it. So I don't think any of this matters, right? No certs really matter. Also, you've got... So... Are these degrees the same? In the US, this would probably be equivalent. A BS would be an AS in computer science would be almost equivalent to information systems and analytics. So if those are the same degree, then you only put the most relevant one. I don't need the rest of them. Also, this should fit into 1 line. The GPA needs to fit in the 1 line. In fact, you've been a person for a bit. I don't even think you need to tell me if you're putting status graduated, I don't even need to see the GPA, right? Especially if you have to like do that. So why don't you just do this, right? Again, if those are the same, which I believe they are. Again, the UK, might be out of my knowledge base. I have gotten people jobs in the UK, but not that specific thing. Then we go down to here, and my problem with this is you have managed high volumes, okay, multitask, do strict project deadlines. All right, that's really one. Multitask and deadlines are kind of the same thing. And like, I know I put them there, but they're kind of the same thing. That's like one. I'll give you two just in case. Man, compliance, but then why do that's all it is. There's only two. I need a minimum of three. And maintain compliance within the established metrics. Why does it matter that you maintain compliance? I don't care that you maintain compliance. I care about the reason that you maintained compliance. Does that make sense? I don't care about maintaining compliance. I care about the reason that you had to maintain compliance. So this does not work. Then function as the primary operational contact for stakeholder escalations. Okay, that's good. I like that. Translating complex instances to actual resolutions to again, I don't care about client satisfaction. I care why they were satisfied, why you had to make them satisfied. Not that they were satisfied, why you had to make them satisfied. What happens if the clients were not satisfied? That is the point that I want you to put in. And again, you only have two. Then, coordinated live service issues, significantly enhancing audit readiness and control environment by presuming none of this matters. A, there's no what. B, there's no why. And C, no numbers. No numbers unless it's your dates of employment. Again, dates of employment or your phone number. You do not want numbers. You were not in sales. You were not a manager. You were not talking about the infrastructure of how many people used it. You do not want numbers. I don't care if your job involves numbers. You don't want numbers. So none of this matters. And then here, applied Excel formulas. Okay, good. And pivot tables. Okay, good. To build a reporting tool that reduces manual evaluation time. Why? Stop with the numbers. And why do I care about this? I don't. Again, only two. So my problem is I have 4 bullet points and 6 keywords to go between them and not enough. Where's SQL? I don't know. What industry are you in? Oh, you didn't tell me. What about data visualization? Nope. Doesn't look like you did. What about influencing stakeholders? Nope. Doesn't look like you did. It does look like you explained technical concepts, but I don't see that you can influence them. How did you solve a problem with the data? I don't know. Did you use MS Excel? Yeah, you did. I would prefer like macros and pivot tables and parentheses, but you did do it. Python? Nope. Don't see it. Multiple projects? No. I see deadlines, but not multiple projects. And then the other stuff is nice. So you only have 50% of what I'm looking for, and this is why you're getting rejected. Not counting the visa stuff. Assuming there was no visa issues, this resume would still get rejected because it only has 50% of what I'm looking for, and you did not explain the reason that you did what you did. You need more. You need more things in your resume. There needs to be more, and you need to fit them into these bullet points. Like, the gap is not a big deal. Candidates freak out about gaps. It's not a big deal. As long as your gap is under 2 years, you're fine. Once it's over 2 years, you start having a problem. But yeah, I just don't see it. I don't see half of what I need. And if I don't see half of what I need, you're not moving forward. Next resume. This is a full stack software engineer looking for junior roles. They have just updated their resume, but they haven't applied to enough roles to find out if this is good or garbage. So we are reviewing this blind. So let's see if it's good or bad. We have 20 seconds on the clock. And wait, did I do a full stack on this one? I didn't. This is the first full stack of this one. There's almost a full stack on every one. This is shocking. Okay, so what do we need for a full stack? We need degree, TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS, TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS. TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS. If you do not have TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS, you will not get moved forward. It is that critical. I don't care that TypeScript implies JavaScript or whatever. You need it. Although I will say sometimes you can replace TypeScript with another backend language. So, RESTful APIs or REST APIs, SQL, Cloud, backend, so Python, C#, .NET, or Java, React, React.js, Angular, Node.js, Vue.js, DevOps, CI/CD, Agile, Git, and extra credit for the rest of that. All right, so Let's see if this is good or garbage. 20 seconds and go. System making positions for 200 users. No. Governing who would edit with members create forms for. Okay, cool. Migrating the platform to a single page. Next routine time required to launch. Okay, good. Architect and autocomplete on Azure Cloud. That should be upfront with Azure. The mashing, letting them find identity. Built-in OOP. Validated. That's fine. And time. This is good. It's bulky though. So quick thing. The only number I want to clarify in this, it's not number of users, right? I've said that it's number of users using the architecture you have. So I don't care that you manage permissions for those 2,000 users. If you built the architecture and 2,000 users daily, then I would want to hear it. You can just say managing permissions for users, governing Kubernetes, and manage creating forms. That's fine. But you don't want to do that. So this is a pretty good one. I think this is probably like a B resume, a B minus, and I want to take it to like an A plus. So what I would do to do that is, first things first, I would switch some things around. With this should be wrapped into this. So I want to see implemented a system in C#.net, JavaScript, HTML, CSS, SQL in an Azure environment, and then everything else is the same. So you can wrap this together with this. Again, it's not that it's a bad sentence, but you get 3 to 6 keywords, so you can put 6 in the first one, and that should be okay. And you can just say architected a system would be fine. In fact, just say architected a system in that, and then keep that. So again, not a bad sentence, but it's a sentence that could be wrapped into that one. And then down here, we can put RESTful APIs into it, because that wouldn't fit. And then we could also probably, let's see, put the RESTful APIs there. And then again, we don't need .NET. We already have you already have TypeScript. No. You don't even need to do that. Just put implemented a system in TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS, and SQL in an Azure environment. And then the second one is going to be C#.net. Right, you want to combine them. C#.net with RESTful APIs. So that way you can remove this whole thing and you could put it in the first two. And then you already have TypeScript up above. I don't care too much about this, so this can be deleted. And then you keep the last sentence. So what we're going to do is, I think, remove this. Maybe put OOP in another one. So remove this one. Wrap the third into the second and first, and then keep the third, and I think you're going to be good. Yeah, again, good resume. I'm just trying to take this from like a 1 in 30, 1 in 50 to a 1 in 7. They are in Canada, so the market is even rougher. So their 1 in 150 would be probably closer to 1 in 75 for the US, because there's just not as many roles. So I want to make this as best as I can. But overall, this is a good resume, right? This does pass. This passes. I'm just being very picky for everybody. I want everybody to know that. Is there anything else? I think there's an extra gap here. And for some reason, again, this is blue. Is that blue or is that my monitor going crazy? No, that's my monitor. That's not blue. Is that blue? This might be blue. This might be blue instead of black for some reason. I might be going crazy. But yeah, otherwise, good one. Does pass. I just wanted to pass more. But that is it for me. Thank you all very much for watching. I appreciate it. And to all of my members who get access to videos early, thank you so much for supporting this channel. If you want to support this channel to keep content like this coming, you can do so in the link below. But to my members, thank you for your support. And for everybody else, if you ever need help, you can join my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST on twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter and right here on YouTube. But that is it. I'm here to help get you ahead of your job search, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you all.